The truth of the matter is fixing the slice is not that difficult when you have good quality information. I'm PGA teaching professional Todd Kolb, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you understand what the slice actually is, what causes it, and most importantly, how to fix it. And I promise you this, I'm going to talk about some suggestions that you've probably been given that are just wrong. And I'm going to prove it to you. So here's what we're going to do. Over the next few minutes, we're going to take a little bit of a journey here. And I'm going to help you understand how to fix that slice. So here's kind of the couple key chapters we're going to talk about. First of all, what is the slice? What is the golf ball actually doing when it curves? Then we're going to talk about the key players. There's two key players in determining whether or not the golf ball curves. I'm going to tell you who they are, and more importantly, what they should be doing. That's the formula, the magic formula that you need to understand if you want to get rid of that slice. And it's going to be something different, I can tell you this, than you've ever heard before. Also, old suggestions. I hate to do this because I gave some of these old suggestions at times, but I'm going to tell you some of those suggestions you're reading in certain publications or you're seeing maybe in videos. I hate to tell you this, but they're probably wrong, and that's probably why you're still slicing the golf ball. I'm going to tell you what they are and tell you why they're wrong. I'm going to prove it to you. Up and down. Your golf game's up and down, but the club is moving up and down. And how it's moving up and down has a big impact in determining the curve, especially with the driver. If you've been slicing your driver, you're going to want to listen to this part. And last but not least, we're going to talk about smashing it. Hey, we all want to smash the golf ball, right? We want to hit it a long ways, but where you hit it on that club face can have a big impact, and I'm going to go through exactly what that is. So let's dive into this. What is the slice? Have you ever watched TV and a commentator, after a player hits a golf shot, the commentator says, oh man, there's a lot of side spin on that golf ball. Or they're really hooking the golf ball, so there's a lot of hook spin on it. The truth of the matter is the golf ball only has backspin on it. It doesn't have side spin on it. What happens is what we call the axis. The spin axis gets tilted. And when the spin axis gets tilted or at an angle, then the golf ball tends to curve. So let me give you just an analogy. Now for all of my scientists out there watching this video or my PhDs, this might not be, I understand, textbook correct, but it's a good visual for the average golfer to understand what's happening. So think of when you're on an airplane and you're going to take off, all right? And the pilot guns it down the runway and you're taking off and you're going straight up. Now, when you're going and he's taking off and he's gaining altitude, he's just going on a straight line. All right, but the minute he gets to a certain point, he or she, the pilot does, and they want to turn a direction, they want to bank right or left, what do they do with the airplane? They tilt it, right? So if they want to bank to the right, they take the left wing and they tilt it up a little bit, and then boom, the airplane starts to curve that direction. And of course, if they want to go the other way, they tilt the right side and they go that way. That's what's happening with your golf ball. It's not spinning sideways. The golf ball has backspin on it, but the spin axis is tilting. So think of the airplane when you talk about how the golf ball actually curves. Now, who are the players, all right? There's always key players in everything. And in terms of the golf ball curving, there are two key players. And here's what they are. They're the face and they're the path. So first of all, what is the face and what is the path? Let's talk about that. The face is literally the club face. It's the club face. And where the club face is pointing at the moment of impact. Now you've got a couple different options to deliver the club face to the golf ball. You can deliver it square, or what we might call neutral. You can deliver it open, or to the right of the target if you're a right-handed golfer, or closed, which would mean the club face is pointing slightly left of the target, once again if you're a right-handed golfer. So the club face is where the club is pointing at the moment of impact. And it has those three options. It's either neutral, or what we might call square, it's open, or it's closed. The next key player is the path. Now the path can be a little bit more difficult for people to understand, but basically here's kind of our 101 description of path. Path is the direction that the club, think of almost like the sweet spot of the club. The direction that sweet spot is traveling at the moment of impact. So that direction can be one of three things. It can be going to the right of the target, it can be going at the target, or it can be going to the left of the target. Those are the three options. So with each one of those, we have 3 different options. All right, hopefully that's kind of making sense. Now, here's what I want you to know. This is probably the most important thing I'm going to tell you. The ball predominantly starts based on where the club face is pointing. I'm going to say that again because it's that important. The golf ball is going to start primarily based on where the club face is pointing. 80, 90 plus percent, depending upon the club that you're using. So in my world, for a lot of golfers, face is king. Face is the key, all right? I'm looking at face, especially for the weekend golfer. Now, Tour Pro, I might be looking more path, but for you watching this, the club face, all right? We're gonna talk about how that ties together. Then the path, all right? This is just a general rule, all right, that I want you to think of. The golf ball basically kind of wants to work away from the path, all right? So if I want the golf ball to go to the left, I got to swing. I have to have the path to the right. If I want the golf ball to go to the left, I want the path to go to the right. Okay, so the golf ball, think of it, that's an easy way for you to remember that. The golf ball wants to go away from the path. Now, there's other things in this formula we're going to talk about that play into that, so I don't want to get any comments here from my fellow golf instructors like, hey, that's not exactly right. But for the average person watching this, that's what we want to do. So, ball starts based on the club face. Ball wants to work away from the path. Fixing the slice is not that difficult. Sorry, gotta get my thought process here, what we were saying earlier.
Yeah, that was a little too exaggerated.
You're teaching. Okay. Ready?